Welcome to the online lecture 9.5. This week we will talk about the molecular basis of evolution. First of all, we will have a brief review about the evolution. Darwin proposed that evolution occur in a population instead of individual. What he means is that when an individual develops a trait that can allow them to adapt to the environment, it cannot be passed to the it may be able to pass to the offspring, but it does not affect other people. The trait has to be acquired or developed by the entire population so that the trait can be passed down to future generation. If it only occurs into one individual, eventually that trait will be so-called diluted or will be lost in the population. So that's why evolution has to occur as a group in the population instead of individual. But at Darwin's time, he didn't know about genetics yet, because Mendel's published his paper about his pea plant experiment after Darwin proposed his evolution idea. So at that time, Darwin doesn't know anything about gene, and evolution has a lot to do with the gene interaction with the environment. And we talked about microevolution last week. Now we'll talk about the last week we talked about the macroevolution. But this week we'll talk about microevolution, and microevolution has to do with the change of allele frequency within the populations. Population genetics is the study of biology that involves the gene in the population. So again, like a brief review, at the beginning of the semester, we talked about different level of organization. Remember that we have cell, and then tissue, and then system, and tissue, and then organ, and then system, and then organism, and then organism we have species, and so on and so forth. And then population is all members of a species occupying the same area at the same time. So we can have different population because we can have different species living in the same area. And then the geneticists, they are interested into studying how diversity of the gene in the population will change over generation. And microevolution can measure the diversity of the population in terms of allele and genotype frequency in each population. We'll talk more about this now. So let's give you a very simple example. We mentioned that there is an example during before and after Industrial Revolution is the moth. Moth, I told you that before the Industrial Revolution, the white moth, they have a higher population because the tree bark, they are white, they are pale color, so that the white moth, when they are resting on the tree, then it is difficult for the predator to notice them. But then after the Industrial Revolution, the tree bark becomes a dark color because of air pollution, and then the black moth, the population increased, but the white moth population decreased because of the change of the color on the tree. So we use the same similar example of the pepper moth. So here we see that the uppercase D is the allele that give you the dark color, the lowercase d give you the color of light color, and uppercase D is the dominant allele. So it's like a review of the Mendelian genetics. If you have homozygous dominant, then the morph will be dark. If you have heterozygous dominant, the morph will also dark color. And the homozygous recessive is the only one that will give you the light color morph. So these two give you dark, this one give you light. So this is the depiction. Homozygous dominant, uppercase D, two allele in the same locus. And then heterozygous dominant, one is uppercase D, one is lowercase d, again two allele in the same locus. So these two will give you the dark morph. The light morph is that it inherits two lowercase d is a homozygous recessive. The two lowercase d allele, they are in the same locus. Gene pool, we talk about gene pool a lot. The definition of gene pool is here, the sum total of all alleles of all genes in a population. So for example, in a population, we take 25 morph as a sample size, and then of course, some of the morph, they are dark, some of the morph, they are light. And then we have, because 25 morph, then each morph will have two alleles. Then 2 times 25, then we have 50 alleles in this sample, 25 morph sample. And then let's assume that 10 alleles are uppercase D, and the rest of the 40 alleles, they are lowercase d. So the frequency of the uppercase D and lowercase d will be this. Because we have total 50 alleles, so 50 will be the denominator. 10 of the uppercase D will be the numerator. So the frequency will be 0.2. 10 divided by 50 becomes 0.2. Similarly, for the lowercase d, what will happen is that the lowercase d, we have 40. We have 40 lowercase d allele here, and we have total 50 allele. So 40 divided by 50 is 0.8. So the frequency of the allele will be 0.2 for the uppercase d, 0.8 for the lowercase d. But the frequency of the uppercase d and lowercase d add up to equal to 1. So all this reason, so the sum of all the allele frequency is always equal to 1. So this is the equation. P is the frequency of the uppercase d, Q is the frequency of lowercase d. So the sum of the frequency of the allele, they are equal to 1. So it says that if the allele frequency did not change over 3 generations, then implying that no evolution. What does it mean, did not change? Meaning that this, if the uppercase D, the dominant allele, stayed 0.2, and if the recessive allele stayed 0.8 for 3 generations. So it is always 0.2 plus 0.8 equal to 1 for 3 generations. That means there's no evolution. And then we will go to Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, Hardy-Weinberg equation. It talks about the genetic equilibrium. So what happens is that if the allele frequency do not change over time, or it reached, we call it Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, that just like I told you before, of 0.2 plus 0.8 equal to 1 for 3 generations. 3 generations, they are the same, 0.2 plus 0.8. Then it is a stable, non-evolving state. That means there's no evolution occur. But Hardy-Weinberg equation, Hardy-Weinberg, they use an equation we call it Hardy-Weinberg equation. This is not a Hardy-Weinberg equation. This is a Hardy-Weinberg equation here. This Hardy-Weinberg equation can calculate the genotype and the allele frequency of a population, because P squared is the homozygous dominant genotype, and then 2PQ is the heterozygous genotype, and the Q squared is the homozygous recessive genotype. So these pictures tell us the example that we told you. So we have 25 morph here in the sample, and then 50 alleles, and 25 morph here with 50 alleles. So we have 10. We have 10 uppercase D, the dominant allele, and then we have 40, a lowercase d, recessive allele here. So these are the allele that happen in each case, in each row here. And then remember we said that the dominant frequency and the recessive frequency added together should be equal to 1. So the dominant frequency is 0.2. We already did the math. And then the recessive frequency is 0.8. Is 40 minus divided by 50. So 0.2 plus 0.8 is equal to 1. So this is the allele frequency. Then we did the math. And then the Hardy-Weinberg equation, this is the Hardy-Weinberg genotype frequency. Hardy-Weinberg equation calculate the genotype frequency. Remember that. It is different from the allele frequency. So allele frequency is this. This is the genotype frequency. It's a little bit different. The genotype frequency, as we know that we have homozygous dominant, heterozygous dominant, and homozygous recessive. So we use this Hardy-Weinberg equation to find out the genotype frequency. And in here, for the homozygous dominant, we have 0.2 multiplied by 0.2 because it is D uppercase D squared. So it is 0.2 multiplied by 0.2, so we get 0.04. The heterozygous frequency is this one, 2 times frequency of the dominant allele times frequency of dominant recessive allele. So it is 2 times 0.2 times 0.8. Then we have 0.32. That is the frequency of the heterozygous dominant. And the frequency of the homozygous recessive is, there's an error of the printing error here. It should be 0.8 times 0.8 because it is the recessive allele square, so it is 0.8. 0.8 times 0.8 equal to 0.64. And then the sum total of all three cases should be equal to 1. So the frequency of the homozygous recessive is 0.84. The frequency of the heterozygous dominant is 0.32. The frequency of the homozygous dominant is 0.04. And these three, this is the, so you can see that it is different from the frequency of each allele, the frequency of allele. So the frequency of allele is different from the frequency of the genotype. So the frequency of genotype again is, we use the Hardy-Weinberg equation. The allele frequency, we just count the number of allele in the sample, and then that's it, and then divided by the total number of allele, and then the sum of it will be equal to 1. So that's the that's how we calculate the allele frequency and the genotype frequency.